Welcome to Am I the Bad Guy? Am I the bad guy for blowing up on my husband over chicken Alfredo? I, 38 female, am married to my husband, 42 male. We've been together since our early 20s and have 3 small children. He's a mechanic and works anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week, while I work as a hostess 3 days a week at a restaurant while the kids are at school. I do the majority of the housework and childcare, and I don't mind as I understand he has a hard job and works a lot. He gets the kids on the bus every morning because he leaves for work about 10 minutes afterwards. All I ask for him to do is his laundry, as his clothes are covered in oil and grime and need to go in by themselves, and pick up after himself because the kids destroy the house enough. A couple times a week he'll help with dinner and clean up at the end of the day as well. Over the last 2 months, he's completely stopped helping. He dumps his clothes on the laundry room floor, his half of the bedroom is a mess, he leaves cans and wrappers all over the living room, and he's even stopped getting the kids up, which has upset them as they love their mornings with him. He's also been coming home hours later than usual. I've been letting it slide as he seems very stressed, but a few days ago he snapped at me for being a shitty wife, for letting his clothes go unwashed. I reminded him that he always did his own laundry and he hadn't asked me to do it. I've been doing it, I just hadn't got onto it yet. He just grumbled and went to go watch TV. Last night I made a chicken Alfredo. We have it about once a week because the kids love it and no one's ever complained. Well, he bitched and moaned through the whole dinner, said that since I'm not taking care of the house, I should at least put a good meal on the table, that I've just been letting the whole family go to shit and I should be ashamed of myself for treating him and his children like that. Called me a bad wife and mother in front of our children. I told the children to go to their rooms and snapped. I screamed at him about how much I do for the house, that if it wasn't for me, the place would be trashed, and he has no right to treat me like this over chicken Alfredo. We went back and forth for a while before he left, and I have no idea where he went. He isn't answering my calls or my texts. I feel bad now. I shouldn't have reacted like that, especially because I know he's stressed from work, but it all just kind of built up and came out at once. I just want to know if I was wrong for freaking out on him like that. Well, okay, well, he's cheating on you. uh, Sorry to just be frank, just out the gate, just tell you, but definitely is cheating on you. This is a situation I know far too well, and this is so obvious, and I'm so sorry about it. But if someone switches up this much on you just out of nowhere, it's usually because they're doing something wrong and they're guilty and they know they're guilty and they're almost trying to find a a better way out of the relationship. Almost, I don't know. I'm really sorry about this. There is an update here, and unfortunately, it's not looking good. I called my husband for the 100th time because he still hadn't come home and the kids wanted to know where he was, and a woman answered. I didn't recognize her voice, and he doesn't have a sister. I asked her to put me on the phone with my husband, and she asked who I was. I said I was his wife. She laughed into the phone and told me he was busy. We went back and forth for a bit, with her laughing at me the whole time before telling me that she'll send him home soon, and then hung up. It's now the next morning, and he's still not home. I really didn't think he was cheating. I'd really hoped this was just a rough patch, but it looks like most of you were right. I'm heartbroken and a little in shock, not really sure what to do right now. My brother said I should come stay with him, and I might, or maybe just bring the kids so they don't have to see us fight. I might update this again, and I might not. But I'm sure you all know where this is heading. Am I the bad guy for telling my daughter she can't move 1,000 miles away to live with her girlfriend? I, 46 female, am the mother to 2 wonderful children, Andrew, 16 male, and Nicole, 21 female. Nicole was very bright as a child and excelled in her classes. She headed into college with a plan to get a master's at least. I never had to worry about her doing well or hitting milestones, but the last few years have been very surprising. She became a bit withdrawn in her teen years, more so than I realized until now, and after her first year of college, she suddenly moved out from a relative's home and got her own apartment. Then, after her second year of college, last May, she told me and her father, 58 male, that she was dropping out and might return in a year, but wasn't sure, and that she was incredibly stressed and depressed and had been for years. It felt like it was coming out of nowhere. Last fall, she got a full-time job and started talking about how she was happy and finally in a good routine, and that she loved working. I was glad things were at least going well for her now, but still hoping she'd return to college soon. One of the biggest recent bombshells she dropped on me, though, was a month ago when I drove to visit her. We went out for lunch and we started talking about this friend, 25 female, of hers. Eventually, my daughter admitted to me that she was a lesbian, and that she and this girl had been dating since January, and that she flew to meet her without telling me or her father. Mind you, she flew over 1,000 miles to see this girl that she had never met and had only called and video chatted with for a few months. I was shocked and angry, but all I did was gently scold her for not telling me, but that I'm glad she's okay and that she had a good time with her girlfriend. I'm very new to this whole thing with my daughter, as I thought she was interested in men, but I'm willing to support her because I love her. And the problem now is that she told me earlier this week that she intends to move within the next year and a half. She says it may be sooner rather than later because things are changing for her girlfriend's living situation, and she wanted to give me a heads up. I told her absolutely not, that she can't move in with someone she's only been dating for a couple of months, especially not when she's moving several states away. All of her family is here, including me and her father and her brother, and her 3 living grandparents. I told her she's too young and she can't move that far away from us just for a girl. She told me that regardless of her girlfriend, she's been wanting to move away for years, and that her girlfriend's state was on a list of potential places anyway. She said she loved being there when she visited and can't wait to go back. She says I'm being unreasonable by asking her to stay, and that she hates it here and feels like she can't be herself. Am I being the bad guy here? I don't think she's old enough or mature enough to leave. So I was going to just give my opinion straight up here, but I just want to read this comment that says that the OP completely omits from their post that they were an addict their daughter's entire childhood, and the daughter was removed from her care for all but 4 years of said childhood. I don't think it changes much of this story, to be honest, but it does, further push that you are the bad guy here. I don't think you have any say what your daughter does. She's old enough now to kind of make that decision, and that's that. I think weird to not put that in your post, but I think you did that on purpose, because it does just kind of reinforce that. You really don't have any say on this, and I don't think your daughter's going to care about what you do say. Am I the bad guy for letting my girlfriend do most of the household chores because she doesn't pay as much of the rent as I do? I, 24 male, work for a very prominent company and get paid a lot more than my girlfriend. We both moved to a different state for my job, and she ended up with a very toxic work environment with a boss who was sexist and homophobic. She hated her job and ended up getting a new one that pays a lot less than her old one did, and has asked me to take on the responsibility of paying most of the rent. Since we have been in this new state, she has done most of the cleaning. I contribute by doing the dishes sometimes and washing the laundry. She is the only one who cleans the bathroom, the kitchen, and the only one who sweeps, mops, and vacuums, along with other random chores here and there. It's been about 8 months since we moved, and everything was fine until recently. The other day she asked me to vacuum the living room, and I said I didn't know where the vacuum was. Since then, she keeps bringing up how I need to do more of the housework, but I feel like because I contribute more to the rent, she should be responsible for keeping the apartment clean. I also do the dishes sometimes and do stuff she asks me to do. I've done more of the dishes since she brought it up, doing them maybe once a week instead of once every other week. She now leaves cleaning tasks for me to do without telling me about them and then gets upset when they aren't done. If you just asked me to clean those parts of the apartment, then I would. She claims that I should know what needs to get done and just do them myself without making her bring it up first. Eventually, she gets frustrated and just cleans it by herself. I'm also tired from working when I get home and I just want to relax or finish my work. She works the same amount of hours as me, but her job is much less demanding than mine, so she is less drained by the end of the day. She does pay for our groceries and my gas sometimes as well as other little things here and there. I don't think I'm the bad guy for expecting her to contribute with the housework since I contribute more financially. Am I the bad guy? Dude, what's going on? Are you okay? She's not your mum. What are you doing? Sort it out. Do some stuff. Like, what? If you lived on your own and you paid all the rent, you'd still clean it. What? What do you think happens if you pay all the rent? Like magic fairies come and clean your apartment for you? What's going on? Sort yourself out, man. Clean, clean up for yourself. Just like what? I see this so often, like this argument in relationships, and like, dude, just do stuff for yourself. She is not your mother. Am I the bad guy for telling off a customer at work for her autistic son's stim? I, 23 female, work at a grocery store as a cashier. Over the summer, I was temporarily located to the garden department in the parking lot, which I've been doing every year for 3-ish years. We have a regular whose son, 6 to 8 years old, has autism. Apparently, one of his stims is spraying bottles, like the cleaning kind. I didn't know this until this incident. Our setup for the garden area till is kind of a U or C shaped. We have a cart with the till so it can be taken inside overnight, and 2 tables bolted together. One table has a shelf underneath where we keep various paper towels and cleaning stuff, including a bottle of diluted bleach, as well as bags for customers buying non-plant items, pots that customers have brought back for recycling, garden gloves for the employees, etc. Around the whole thing is a table skirt that's attached to the table. I really have no say in the setup beyond moving things around on the shelf. Anyway, one day this mum brought her kid in. I saw him trying to reach around the table legs to the cleaning supplies, so I moved them down the shelf closer to me and told him those bottles are for cleaning, not for touching, and asked him to please leave them alone. And then I just started scanning his mum's stuff. Out of nowhere, a bunch of droplets hit my sunglasses and cheeks. I looked up and the kid had pulled this table skirt, which was zip-tied tightly to the table, away, stuck his arm through, grabbed the bottle of bleach and started spraying it around. I quickly grabbed it from him as his mum laughed and reminded me he's autistic and said that he has a spray bottle of water at home that he likes to spray people with. Now, this is where I might be the bad guy. I told her that first off, she shouldn't be encouraging him to spray people with anything without their consent. And second, that wasn't water, it was bleach. And they were both lucky I was wearing sunglasses because I could have gone blind. She was really offended and again tried to tell me he was autistic. I said that may be an excuse for him not to realise, but she needs to be paying closer attention to her kid in public if he's going to go and do stuff like that. Now, she hasn't brought her kid in since, and I feel bad because he is a nice kid and I don't know how much help she has at home, but I still feel like what I said was true. Not the bad guy at all. I mean, I am autistic and I know kind of like stimming and things like that, and that doesn't make it okay to do something like this in public, and especially not in this context as well. It's like you are right, like you could have gone blind if you weren't wearing sunglasses, and yeah, this is it's quite clear not the bad guy. Um, I do understand why you'd feel bad about it, but the mum really should have been like looking not looking after her kid more, like uh keeping an eye on her child more, you know, uh, getting her little goggles on, her children goggles, and looking around and going, "Oh, where's he gone? What's he doing?" I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Thank you for watching.